King Charles is facing the most dangerous decision of his reign, a choice that could either save British democracy or destroy the monarchy forever. As we speak, Britain is spiraling into its worst constitutional crisis in 200 years. The government has lost control, millions of citizens are rising up, and for the first time in modern history, the monarchy itself is under direct public pressure. What happens next could change Britain forever. Stay tuned, because what's unfolding right now behind palace walls is unlike anything you'll hear in the mainstream media. It all began just 3 weeks ago with what seemed like routine frustration. The government's approval ratings were sliding, nothing unusual. But then one online petition lit the fuse. It demanded immediate general elections. Within 24 hours, 100,000 people had signed. Within 2 days, 500,000. By the end of the first week, 2 million. And then the numbers exploded. 3 million. 4 million. Over 5.2 million signatures, smashing every political record in British history. That's more than the populations of Scotland and Wales combined. This wasn't a fringe movement, this was the British people speaking with one voice louder than they had in generations. Inside Downing Street? Panic. Advisors working 18-hour days. Ministers in constant crisis meetings. The Prime Minister's approval rating has collapsed to 18%, lower than at any point in modern British history. Worse, a staggering 73% of voters now say the government has lost the right to govern. That's not just disapproval, that's a collapse of democratic legitimacy. Meanwhile, social media became the command center of a digital revolution. #General Election now trended worldwide for 8 straight days, generating billions of views. TikTok clips of ordinary Britons demanding elections racked up 150 million views in a week. YouTube creators gained hundreds of thousands of subscribers exposing government failures. Even pensioners, small business owners, and NHS nurses are flooding Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with videos demanding change. For the first time in decades, every demographic, every region, every political background is united behind one demand: give us our democracy back. The markets reacted instantly. The pound fell 4% in just 5 days. The FTSE lost £80 billion in value. Business leaders issued extraordinary warnings about investor confidence collapsing. The Federation of Small Businesses says 71% of its members want immediate elections just to restore stability. Meanwhile, major corporations are quietly preparing for government collapse. Even the Bank of England has sounded the alarm: prolonged instability could trigger a full-blown economic crisis. And now, the crisis has jumped from politics to the monarchy itself. For the first time in decades, protesters are gathering outside Buckingham Palace. Their signs read, "Charles, choose democracy, king or puppet." These images have gone viral worldwide, and King Charles's approval rating has dropped below 50%, a terrifying warning sign for the monarchy. Because here's the brutal arithmetic of royalty: if you lose majority support, your crown itself is at risk. Charles is now trapped. If he dissolves parliament and forces elections, he'll be accused of staging a royal coup. If he does nothing, he'll be remembered as the king who let democracy collapse. Either way, the monarchy faces its greatest threat since the English Civil War. Behind closed doors, Charles has been holding emergency consultations with constitutional scholars, legal experts, and even former prime ministers. The royal household is divided. Younger advisors argue neutrality is impossible, you can't sit out a battle between democracy and authoritarianism. Traditionalists insist intervention would destroy the monarchy's impartiality forever. Meanwhile, international pressure is mounting. Germany's Olaf Scholz reportedly called Charles directly. France's Emmanuel Macron postponed a state visit over the crisis. The White House issued a late-night statement urging Britain to restore democratic accountability immediately. Even NATO officials are being briefed, worried Britain's instability could weaken Europe's second-largest military power. Westminster MPs are preparing a no-confidence vote that the government is almost certain to lose. But rumors suggest the Prime Minister may refuse to resign, claiming that doing so would reward mob rule. If that happens, Britain enters uncharted territory not seen since the English Civil War. Parliament and government would be at war. And King Charles would face the ultimate decision: dismiss the Prime Minister, or watch the entire system collapse. On the streets, protests are spreading nationwide: London, Manchester, Birmingham, Cardiff, Glasgow, Belfast. Entire families are marching. Conservatives and Labour voters are side by side. Brexit and Remain campaigners stand united. Police forces admit they're overwhelmed. MI5 has warned that if just one protest turns violent, it could trigger a chain reaction across the country. Palace insiders say Charles spends hours each day weighing his options. A national television address has already been written, but no one knows what it will say. Will he announce support for immediate elections? Will he defend parliamentary sovereignty and risk being seen as democracy's enemy? Or will he try a middle path that pleases no one? Meanwhile, organizers are planning a Democracy Day national shutdown where millions of workers from teachers to transport staff could walk out at once, costing billions and deepening the crisis. This is no longer just about politics. It's about whether 1,000 years of British institutions can survive the digital age, and whether King Charles will be remembered as the monarch who saved democracy or the one who destroyed the crown. Britain now stands on the edge of its biggest transformation since World War II. The government is cornered, the people are united, and the king faces an impossible choice that will define his reign, and maybe end the monarchy as we know it. So what do you think Charles should do? Should he dissolve Parliament and call elections, even if it looks like royal interference? Should he stay silent and let the crisis burn? Or is there some third path that could save both democracy and the crown?